Welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of the Useless Thoughts Podcast. We've had a busy last couple of weeks, and we did get behind with our schedule of publishing new episodes. I, of course, accept no blame for this, so would ask that you please direct all your complaints to email address at complaints.com. For the theme of today's episode, we're going to look at issues with morning routines. Everyone has their everyday rituals and routines, and as usual, we've got some things to say about them. Useless Thoughts is back with more reporting on the issues that actually matter. So why don't you drop all the small talk and let's do this.
Sitting on top of the world, I don't know if you heard. I'm living it up, yeah, I ain't gonna stop, and I can't hear a word. Good vibes up in the air, and I got plenty to share. So come pick it up, there's tons to be got, and I'm spreading it everywhere. So go a little up and let it run amok. I'm telling your friends it's time to let the good times roll.
This is the Useless Thoughts Podcast, a place where no thought is too random and no topic is too pointless. Let's have some real conversation. I do have a quick announcement to make before we start the content of today's show. I have Useless Thoughts t-shirts that I've made. And by I've made, I mean that I used a website to help with the design and make a shirt. If you want one, let me know at uselessthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. I don't have a store or anything, but mainly made one just so that I could wear it as free advertising for myself, for anyone that sees it. And now I wear it so that I can be made fun of anytime someone sees the shirt and says, so what is your podcast about? I'm not sitting on any inventory or anything, though, so I do not have to sell any shirts, and it's not going to hurt my feelings if nobody wants one. The charge will just be whatever it costs to order and ship one to you. I'm not looking to make any money off of them, just saying if you want a shirt, I do have a way those can be ordered. You just have to let me know. I'm also accepting any free designs and ideas you want to make for me if I send you what the shirt looks like and you don't want one, because as you can tell by our show's logo, I don't have any idea what I'm doing when it comes to graphic design, so I could use all the help I could get there. All right, on to the content. Our first topic for morning routines, and that is the shower. Now, I know some of you out there don't shower in the mornings and instead shower before bed. I don't understand the mindset of this portion of our population, but consider this me acknowledging that you are out there. So this issue will apply to you as well, but for the sake of this episode's theme, we're going to keep it in the morning routine category, even though I know showers are just an evening thing for some of you. There's been a developing problem with the shower routine that I've developed sometime over the last few years, and I'm not sure how. I don't know if it's an epidemic yet or not, but I know that I do suffer from it. And that problem is that after a couple of minutes in the shower, I forget what I've already washed and what remains to be washed. So for the sake of not getting too TMI here, we're going to say that we have 3 classifications of areas to be cleaned: your face, body, and hair. I separate these because typically you're going to be using different product for these 3 regions. You have your shampoo for your hair, your body wash or soap for your body, and then you may have a separate facial cleanser type product to use on your face. Unless you're one of those thrifty souls who buys the all-in-one product that can wash anything. And if you are one of those, then we salute you and we salute those products, because apparently they figured out something that laundry has yet to figure out in 2020, and that's how to make one product that does it all. But almost every day, I will be going through the motions in the shower. 5 minutes will pass, and I don't have the slightest clue which of these 3 regions I've washed and which ones are left. So I end up having to start over and do them over again. And the main reason I think that this has become a problem is that I'm on autopilot due to being tired from just waking up, but also because after all these years, I still haven't established one order in which I do things. I mix it up, and because of this, if I can't remember what I've done, I don't have my established routine to fall back on to help me remember what is done and what remains. So consider this your PSA for showers. Establish your routine now so you don't end up like me, staring into the steamy abyss trying to remember what you've already done. You will have to choose your own path and the order in which you will go, but my recommendation is to make sure the body is the last of the 3 regions that you complete. You choose whether hair or face should go first, but let the body be the last one. And like the old saying goes, stick to a shower routine, or else you'll have to re-clean. Moving on to another morning routine item, going to the gym. The first rule of the gym is that going to the gym only happened if you tell someone that you went to the gym. This is the first and greatest rule when it comes to the gym. But the second one like it is this: you must bring headphones to the gym. Have you ever gone to the gym and realized that you forgot to bring your headphones? Pound for pound, this might be the biggest disaster that could happen to anyone. You just have to work out while just thinking through your thoughts. What a brutal way to exist. I can only assume that our elderly brethren from the past even realized this, and they were dragging in their record players and their 8-tracks and later on their cassette and CD players. I would imagine it affected their workout slightly because they probably did have to make sure their movements weren't too sudden to make sure none of the tracks would skip while they were working out. But there is a slight misconception around the need for headphones that could possibly contradict most of what I just said, which I'm fine with. Most think that you need headphones because working out is more effective when you have music or audio to listen to. I haven't done any studies on the issue, but I'm here to tell you that that is false. Listening to music doesn't make the workout easier or more intense or make the time pass by more quickly. It probably actually makes you sit too long on the benches at each machine, so it probably hurts your workout, plus the people that are waiting to use the machine or weight set that you're working on. No, the actual reason that you need headphones during your workout is because everyone else has them on. When you're not listening to anything, you're tempted to make small talk with others, since you have nothing else to occupy your time between sets, and you annoy anyone that already has headphones in because now they have to take their headphones out just to listen to what you say. So you just end up having to torture yourself by not listening to anything, and you're not talking to anyone, but you're just existing there. And that's the reason that headphones are important to bring to the gym, because peer pressure requires it. You can't just be in there without headphones and not say anything, so we wear headphones to keep us from being compelled to talk. And I don't want to hear from our elderlies or our olds that it's a millennial problem. I see all of you wearing them. This is a society thing that we have all brought upon ourselves. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. If you forget your headphones at the gym, your chances of avoiding a conversation are slim. Let's take a quick break from today's show to mention our sponsor for this episode. Today's episode is brought to you by music that is just music without being in a genre. Who decided that we had to divide music into different categories? And how do you even declare what genre your music is in? And why can't songs by any given artist fall into different categories? If you're a country artist, apparently that means every song you make is a country song, even if it doesn't sound like country at all. Is there a music genre committee that's sitting out there and deciding where an artist's music will fall? What happens to a song that just gets published without going first to the committee to ask what genre the song should be in? Does the big genre industry shut it down? All these are questions that we should be asking ourselves. And it goes along with people ask you, what type of music do you like? And we're stuck having to give some genre of music that we like. Well, what if we just like music in general and don't want to tie ourselves down to a specific genre? We just like anything. That's why this episode is brought to you by music that avoids being put in a genre. You rebel against the constraints of society, trying to put you in a cage or a box, limiting the radio stations that you'll be played on. No, you instead throw caution to the wind, and you put yourself out there as music, no genre required. This music is to be appreciated, and I know our listeners will do just that. Thank you for supporting this episode. All right, back to the show. The last topic that we'll discuss regarding morning routines. Most of us check our phones first thing in the morning, which is probably a bad habit to get into, but this is the reality for now until we hopefully have a hard reset with technology sometime in the future. One of the things that many of us do while checking our phones early in the morning is check our email. And so one of the things that we do here, and this is our last topic on morning routines, is that we have to delete all those marketing emails that we get from all the websites and stores that we dared to even think about just one time in our lives. Now, maybe you're a less forgiving person than me, and you unsubscribe the first time that you get one of these emails. But I would imagine that many of you are like me, and you just delete the email and move on with your day. This is the quickest option and the easy option to do, and I think that's why most of us default to this. However, we all have our breaking points. How long can you go deleting emails before you finally take the plunge and unsubscribe? I used to have an incredible tolerance, going 2 years sometimes before I would finally unsubscribe from an email. But there's a time when every boy has to grow up and become a man, and I have been working on dialing this in. My threshold has now reached 6 months, and I'll finally cave and unsubscribe. And I'm going to add to my New Year's resolutions this year to get that down to 1 month before the year is up. Why does it take so long for us to unsubscribe? It's not that hard, right? Well, let's talk about these services that change it up on you. Some services have the unsubscribe link at the bottom of the email. We've all realized now that if we want to unsubscribe, we've got to scroll all the way to the bottom. So this is usual practice. And some services, as soon as you click that, you're unsubscribed immediately. The only inconvenience they have is you have to close the browser window because it does usually pop something up for you. These are the gold standard of the spam email industry, and they're to be commended for their efficiency and lack of hassle factor. We do appreciate the lack of hassle factor here on this show. So these are the gold standard, and they're appreciated, but unfortunately, they are few and far between. How about the ones that don't even put the unsubscribe link in the bottom of the email, and you have to figure out a different way? How about the ones that take you to a page and they have the gall to ask you to type out the email address that you want to be unsubscribed from the service? You know, the email address that they just sent an email to that had a link in it to unsubscribe. How about the ones that make you click a checkbox for all the types of emails that you want to unsubscribe from? How about the ones that try to trick you, where the unsubscribe links takes you to a page, and the button on that page is confirming that you would like to keep receiving all the emails? So they're trying to pull a fast one. Usually the button unsubscribes you, but some of them change it up a little bit, and the button actually confirms that you want to keep receiving them. All these types that we've mentioned are just a real treat. But the one that tops them all is the one that you unsubscribe from, and you keep getting them. See, here's where they get you. They throw in some disclaimer that I guess they've put into some contract that they created that I guess we signed up for when we bought something on a website. They throw in some disclaimer that you may keep receiving these for the next 72 hours. So it will take some time for this to take effect. But apparently what that actually means is we're not going to actually unsubscribe you. We just hope that this 72-hour window means that you'll forget that you unsubscribed, and we'll maybe take a month or two off, and then we'll just start sending them all over again, since it's not like you can do anything about it. A big issue in society that everyone's been up in arms about the last couple of years is these spam callers, and it seems like we're all just getting all these fake phone calls and now sometimes fake texts, and none of us want to answer our phone anymore if we don't recognize the number, just because it's just constantly getting spam calls. But sliding under the radar are all these marketing emails that keep finding innovative ways to annoy us even more. And like our founding fathers always said, emails where it might require a bribe to unsubscribe. And that is the end of today's episode. Maybe you'll look at your morning routine a little differently now. This deep investigative journalism that we've done into the mundane tasks of our daily lives has hopefully shined a light on a part of our culture that needed to be considered. And before we leave, we wanted to remind you of all the phrases to take with you from this episode, as these have all been passed down for many years from our wise elders and forefathers. And those three are: 1, stick to a shower routine, or else you'll have to reclaim. And another, if you forget your headphones at the gym, your chances of avoiding a conversation are slim. And finally, emails. where it might require a bribe to unsubscribe. Wow, powerful wisdom packed into those small statements. I hope you enjoyed this episode and hope that you will keep tuning in. I'll leave you with a quote I always liked from Pam Beasley, or Pam Halpert in The Office. I guess she would have been a Halpert at this time. That I think goes along well with the theme of this whole Useless Thoughts podcast that we do. And that quote in the last episode, "There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Isn't that kind of the point?" I make fun or complain about a lot of pointless things in the world, but that's only because I think life is fun and more interesting when we pay attention to the mundane, everyday things, even if I happen to be complaining about them. See you all next time, and remember to show kindness to everyone, and let's make the world a better place.